Good afternoon, everybody. Today is March 9, 2022. Today our lecture is Visuddhimagga para Purification, Samadhi Nidesa Body Concentration, Part 60. So before starting the lecture, we pay respect to the Buddha, saying Namo Tassa in 3 times, please. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Thank you very much for your watching. Today we continue talking about the Buddhanussati, recollecting the quality or the special quality of the Buddha. This is one kind of meditation method to, make that your concentration power. So that's why we learning about this one. So Pali continue talking about the first quality of the Buddha like this. Yatacha loke Yikechi Anita Manino. So Cha is continuously explaining Loke in the war. Yikechi means a son. Anita Manino who think they are a wise person, but actually they are not. Bala is evil. Asiloka Payena. So Siloka is popular. Asiloka is not popular. So Payena is the afraid. So that person Raho in the secret place, Babang evil currently make. They make evil in the secret place because of the fear not popular. So popular person is want to become popular like this. A1 is A1 is Isa is the Buddha. Kadachi anytime. Kadachi anytime. Papa Karane. Papa is evil. Karana is doing evil. Papa Karane. Rahabawa Watopi. Abakrani Rahabawa is Raha is a secret place. Abawa is a no. No, there's no secret place. So Nakarandi. Nakarandi is a no, not doing the evil. Nakarandi. So that's why the Buddha, we call Arahant. Yeah. Pali saying like this. So that meaning, Arahant meaning is no secret place to do evil thing. That meaning is the last meaning of the Arahant. So the verse is saying like this: Yasama nati rahonama papa kamesu tadino. So Yasama, that's why nati is and there's no rahonama. Raho is no scruples to do evil. Papa kamesu is doing the evil thing. Huh? Yeah, Darino, that kind of Darino meaning is that kind of Darino is a kind of the Buddha. We say Darino because the Buddha is no shaking with the 8 kind of Lokadhamma. So that's why we call. That meaning is Buddha mind is never ever shaken by the good thing or bad thing, whatever happened in the world. Yeah. So that's why we call Buddha is Darino. So Darino, Buddha, and we call here Rahabhavena Dena. Denesa is Dena Isa. Dena Isa is the Buddha. Buddha is Rahabhavena is because there's no secret place. Arahant iti Hosito. Wisudo is become popular. Buddha became popular because that kind of special quality. There's no secret place for doing evil things. So that's why we call Buddha is Arahant. Okay. So he does not act like these force of evil in the world who burnt their cleverness and yet too evil, but in secret for fear of the getting a bad name. Because of the absence of secret, Rahabhava. Evil doing, he is accomplished Arahanta also. So no secret evil deed may claim, and others who accused the name accomplished Arahanta is deservedly by the absence of such secrecy. Rahabhava. Secrecy means a secret place of evil doing. Yeah. So this is the first quality of the Buddha, Arahant. So Arahant is there's 5 different meanings, isn't it? Okay, so right now we finished the first special quality of Buddha, Arahant. So we go to next one. Next second special quality of Buddha. This one is enough. This one is just kind of the explaining. Ewan Sabatapi. Ewan Sabatapi. Ewan like this, Sabatapi in all aspects. Sabatapi. Arakata Hatata Cha. Arakata Hatata Cha. Kilesarina So Muni. This is the conclusion about the Arahant, 5 meaning of Arahant. Arakata is very far away from the mandal defilement. That meaning that's why we call Somuni. Somuni is the Buddha. So is that Muni is a Buddha. Yeah, Buddha. Many Pali name of Buddha is many Pali name. Muni also Buddha. Yeah. So Buddha is a very, very far away from the mandal defilement, so no connection with the mandal defilement. That's why Arakata. Araka is a very, very far away, remote net. And then Hadada. Hadada is a destroy the mandal defilements, like our inside enemy, like this. So Hadada. And then Hatta Sansara Chakaro. Yeah. Hatta is a destroy. Sansara Chaka is a life cycle. Life cycle of life. Cycle of life is a Purification, dependent origination. The Buddha explained the cycle of life for all living beings. And there's 12 natural phenomena is working like cause and effect, relationship with each other. So that kind of thing is like a Buddha mentioned, spoke of the we of the cycle of life. So samsara cycle is a cycle of life in the round of rebirth. So destroying Buddha all spoke, the natural thing in the cycle of life. That's why. Hatta sansara chakaro. And then Pachayadina Saraho. Pachayadina. Pachaya is a full requisite. Pachaya. Here Pachaya means a full requisite. So sometimes Pachaya is a cause. Pali. So maybe beginner very, very confused. Pachaya is a cause here, but not here cause. This is a Pachaya means a requisite, full kind of requisite for the monk, for the Buddha. So that meaning. Okay. Pachaya dina chaharo. Charaho. Charaho is a cha. Araho. Naraho karoti papani. Arahan dena uchati. So the 5 meaning of Arahan is here together. Arakada, first one. First one, Arakada. That's why we call Arahan, because very far away, no connection with the mandal defilement. And then second one is Hadada. Hadada is a destroy inside enemy mandal defilement. The meaning is Hadada, isn't it? So this second meaning. And then third meaning is Hatta Sansara Chakaro. Hatta Sansara Chakaro is a destroy the spoke or the wheel of life. So that meaning. And then number 4 meaning is Pachaya dina charaho. So Buddha is deserved for offering, all kind of offering. So that meaning Pachaya dina charaho. So here is a cha araha. Araha is a deserved. Yeah. Araha, cha araha, araho. Huh? Yeah. Araha is here. Araha means deserved to accept the full requisite by the offering by the other. So that meaning is number 4 meaning of the Arahant. And then number 5 meaning, last one, is Naraho Karoti Papani. Yeah. No secret place to do evil. Arahant Dena Uchadi Dena, for that reason, Dena, for that reason, Uchadi, we call the Buddha, we call Arahant Dena Uchadi. Yeah. So this is 5 different meaning of the Buddha quality Arahant. So in all the way, the sick of the remoteness and alloy, then vanish defining force deploy, the sport or rebut we destroy, the worthy or requisite implied, secret evil he did avoid. For these 5 reasons, he may claim the name as accomplished or Arahant for his name. Yeah. This is a special quality for the Buddha. Okay, so we now finish explanation about the first quality of the Buddha, Arahant. And then we go to the second quality or the special quality of Buddha is Arahant Samma Sambuddho, isn't it? So Samma Sambuddho is explained here in Pali. So Samma Sambuddha is many words together in the Samma Sambuddha. So here explain one by one. Samma Samanja. Samanja. Samma Samanja Sabba Dhammana Buddhata Pana. Pana is another quality of Buddha explained here. Samma Sambuddho. So Samma Sambuddho meaning is Samma plus Sam plus Buddha. So 3 was combined. Samma Sambuddho means Samma plus Sam plus Buddha. So 3 were combined, Samma Sambuddho. So Samma meaning is Samma is here Samma. So Samma is Samma deity. Eightfold Noble Path is Samma is very, very well, rightly. Yeah. Samanja. Sama is himself. Himself meaning is he has no teacher. To get the enlightenment, Buddha has no teacher. That meaning is Samanja. Samanja is himself. He know he himself. He trying to understand the noble Arya Satya, Full Noble Truth, or Sabba Dhammana. Sabba is all, Dhamma is phenomenal, so all phenomenal. Buddhata is a know. Buddhata is a knowing or understanding. That's why we call Buddha a Samma Sambuddho. So Samma Sambuddho meaning is Buddha knowing all phenomena rightly and no teacher himself. Yeah, that meaning. Okay. So this is a very important. Yeah. So Buddha has a no teacher to attain the enlightenment. Yeah. Okay. So Tatahi is Tatahi. he is explain more detail. Tata, that kind of talking. Esa is a Buddha. The Buddha. Sabadame. Sabadame means in all kind of phenomena. Yeah. Sama, rightly. Samanja, the himself. Himself meaning is no teacher. The Buddha, understanding. Buddha is the Buddha meaning is understanding. Yeah? Okay, so explain more detail. Sabadame is more detail we have to know, isn't it? So sabadame, all kind of phenomena. All kind of phenomena. Generally, we say all, but we need to more detail understanding about that. So here explain. Abhidhamma dhamma. Abhidhamma dhamma. Abhidhamma means should be understood with the penetrated wisdom. That kind of dhamma is that kind of phenomena. Huh? So Abhidhamma dhamma is here mentioned is what is important to understand with penetrated wisdom is Four Noble Truth, not the other thing. Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, and Magga. Yeah. These Four Noble Truths is, very, very important to understand in our life. Without understanding these four dharma, we are not free. We are not free from suffering. Yeah. That's why. Here Pali say Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma means should be understood. Should be understood. Should be understood. Should be understood meaning not should be. Much be understood is better, I think. Yeah. Much be understood. Yeah. Because without understanding these Four Noble Truths, we are not free from suffering. We want freedom. If you want freedom, you need to understand these Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths we call in here Pali is Abhidhamma dhamma. Yeah. Abhidhamma dhamma means you must be understood these phenomena. So in these phenomena, Abhidhamma to Buddha. Yeah, Buddha is Abhidhamma to understood with the penetrative wisdom. Penetrative wisdom. Okay, and then next group is a Parinyaya dhamma. Parinyaya dhamma, another group of dharma phenomena. Another group of phenomena is a Parinyaya. Parinyaya meaning is should be analytic. Huh? Analytical way should be understood. That kind of phenomena we call in Pali Parinyaya dhamma. So here the meaning is Parinyaya dhamma is a Four Noble Truth Dukkha Satya. Yeah. Dukkha Satya, the truth of suffering. the truth of suffering should be analyzed. Should be analyzed. Without analyze the suffering, suffering is not the other thing by kind of aggregate. So without analytical way, we understanding the five aggregate, we cannot remove the manda defilement. We cannot destroy the manda defilement. So that's why in the first discourse of the Buddha, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Buddha mentioned that kind of Pranyaye, Dhamme, Pranyayanti, so Buddha said like this, Pranyayanti. So Pranyaye Dhamme. Pranyayato, Buddha is analytical way understood the five aggregate. This is another Dharma, another phenomenon group. And then next one, another group. Pahadabe Dhamme. Pahadaba. Pahadaba should be removed. Pahadaba. Pahadabe Dhamme. So what kind of Dharma phenomena should be removed from our body and mind? It's a manda defilement. Manda defilement is, we need to remove from our body and mind. Pahadaba. So according to the Four Noble Truth, is a cause of suffering. Dukkha samudaya ariya satya, isn't it? The cause of suffering should be removed. If you want to free from suffering, you need to remove first the cause of suffering. So to remove the cause of suffering, you need to understand the five aggregate in the analytical way. This is a very, very important. So that's why here, Sabha Dhamme means including these Dhamma, Pahadaba Dhamma. So here mentioned Buddha, these removing Dhamma phenomenon, Pahadavato, Buddha removed from his body and mind. So that's why Buddha is Sammasambuddha, we call. And then Sachi Katabe Dhamme. Sachi Katabe meaning is the Sachi Kataba. Sachi Kataba is you should understand by yourself. Sachi Kataba is by you, not the other person talking, not by reading the Dharma book, not like this. So that meaning is practice meditation, Vipassanā, meditation, inside meditation, and you understand the five noble truth, five aggregate. So that meaning is Sachikatabe. Sachikatabe Dhamme. Yeah. Sachikatabe Dhamme. Sachikatavato. The Buddha understand that phenomena by himself. That's why Buddha is, we call Samma Sambuddho. And then Bhaveda Dhamme. So Sachikatava Dhamma is Nibbana. Yeah, Nibbana. Yeah. So Niyoda Satya in the Tat Noble Truth. that noble truth, Niyara Satya, we call Sachikata Abhidhamma. Yeah. So Bhaveda Abhidhamma, another group of the phenomena is we hear Pali say Bhaveda Abhidhamma. Bhaveda is should be developed. Yeah. Should be developed. These phenomena should be developed. Should be developed means more and more stronger and stronger in power of the phenomena. So this is Mega Satya, Eightfold Noble Path. Eightfold Noble Path, these eight kind of Dharma phenomena should be developed. Yeah. So after finishing these kind of developing in the Eightfold Noble Path, we begin very powerful, and we have power to remove the mental defilement, kilesa, isn't it? And then we see the nibbana. So that's one here. Pahada Vedame, Bhaveda Vedame, Bhaveda Vado. The Buddha already developed these phenomena. That's why. That's why Sammasambuddha, in the Sammasambuddha, Sabba Dhamma meaning is these Dhamma. Number one is Abhinyeda Dhamme. Number one. Abhinyeda Dhamme. Number two, Parinyeda Dhamme. Number three, Sachikata Dhamme. And then number four, Bhaveda Dhamme. Yeah. These four kind of Dhamma here we call Sabba Dhamme. Sabba Dhamme, all kind of phenomena, meaning is these four group of the phenomena. Okay. Okay, so here English translation. He is a fully enlightened because he has discovered all things rightly. Sama, rightly is a sama, and Saman is by himself. By himself meaning is he has no teacher to attain the enlightenment. That meaning. Okay? And then, in fact, all things are discovered by him, rightly by himself. In that he discovered of the thing to be directly known. To be directly known meaning is, yeah, we have to understand the kind of that they must be directly known. That is a learning about the Four Noble Truth, not the other thing. Not the other thing. Four Noble Truth. So one by one, these Four Noble Truth explain of these the things to be fully understood. That they must be fully understood. That is a penetrating of the suffering, penetrated understanding of the suffering. Yeah. So suffering is no other thing. Suffering is our five aggregate. Our five aggregate is totally depend on the various kind of condition. That's why the Buddha mentioned our five aggregate is suffering. Yeah. You should understand in that way. So without understanding in that way, suffering is kind of the negative thinking of the life. Yeah. So be careful to understand properly. Okay, and then of the things to be abandoned. Abundance of Hatha Vedami. Abandoned that they might be abandoned. Abandoned means removed. So that is a penetrating of the origin of the suffering or cause of the suffering. Sometimes the scholar translate the cause of suffering, sometimes the scholar translate the origin of suffering. It's okay. Yeah. This is in Pali is a Abhidhamma. And then another group of the things to be realized that they must be realized. That is a penetrating of the cessation of the suffering, the nibbana, nirodha, nirodha, satya, nibbana. Yeah, this should be realized. Without realizing the nibbana, yeah, we are not free from suffering. And then to realize that things, what we need is another thing of the thing to be developed. This is Abhidhamma. The things to be developed, that they must be developed, that is a penetrating of the path. Path meaning is eightfold noble path. Yeah. So this is a very important to understand the second special quality of Buddha, Samma Sambuddha. Samma Sambuddha means all kind of Dhamma. All kind of Dhamma means these four kind of Dhamma should be that he Buddha rightly and himself understanding. That's why we call Buddha is Samma Sambuddho. So you can practice meditation with that special quality of Buddha again and again, reflecting Samma Sambuddho, Samma Sambuddho, Samma Sambuddho, like this, understanding that meaning. Okay, so concentration power will become the stronger and stronger. We get the benefit from that practice of meditation. Okay. Okay. So we go to the meaning of Samma Sambuddha here. With the buzzers, Tinewa Chaha, Tinewa Cha Aha. Cha meaning is here. Cha meaning is it is true. It is true. Tinewa means tina ewa. Tina means because these four dhamma understanding. Pranya dhamma, Abhidhamma dhamma, Sachikandava dhamma, Bhavitava dhamma, these four kinds. So Tinewa, because of these four kind of dhamma understanding, Abhinaya, Abhinyata. Abhinaya means should be understood with the power, wisdom, or for noble truth. Abhinyata. Bhavitava cha bhavita. Yeah, bhavitava means a developing thing. So developing things, bhavita means already developed. Abhidhamma means abandon things. Pahina means already abandoned. May means that the Buddha mentioned himself. May means I. Tasama, therefore, Buddhosmi means I enlightened. I am enlightened. Brahmana is called the name of the Brahman. So here in the translation, what must be directly known is already directly known. What has to be developed has been already developed. What has to be abandoned has been already abandoned. And that is why I am enlightened. Brahma. So Buddha explained to the one of the Brahma like this. This is just a kind of the reference, what the Buddha said. Okay, so we go to the next one. More detail explaining about the Four Noble Truths. Pija. Pija is we have more explanation. Chakko. Chakko meaning is the Chakupasara Rupa. So the Chakupasara Rupa is eye sensitivity. English translation. Eye sensitivity. Dukkha Satya, isn't it? Dukkha Satya. Dukkha Satya means suffering, true of suffering, because the eye sensitivity is totally depend on the manic condition. Manic condition. That's why we call Chakun Dukkha Satya. Okay? Tassa means that Chakusa. Tassa Chakusa. That's that eye sensitivity. Mula Karana Bhavena. Mula Karana, Mula is a root, isn't it? Karana is a cause. Bhavena is a happening. So happening the cause of the root. Samotha Pika. Samotha is a Pika means the producing the eye sensitivity. Purimatana. Purimatana means in previous life. In previous life, there's attachment to the Chaku, eye sensitivity. That's why we try to do the kind of the karma action. Yeah. So samudaya dana and the purimadana, samudaya satya. Yeah. So in the previous life, we strongly attached to the eye sensitivity. That is we call samudaya satya. Second noble truth of is cause of suffering, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And then ubena is these two. Ubena. These two meaning is chakku, eye sensitivity, and purimatana, previous attachment, previous life attachment. These two things. Apawoti. Apawoti means not happening. Apawoti. Means not. Apawoti. Poti is happening. Apawoti means not happening. That meaning is Nira Satya. Nira Satya. And of the suffering. Nira Satya is season of the suffering or end of the suffering. Some scholars
translate end of the suffering or ceasing of the suffering. That means it's a stop of the suffering. That is a Niyoda is a despairing, no, never ever again happening. And then Nirodha Pajanana. Nirodha Pajanana. Nirodha is a Nibbana. Pajanana meaning is understanding. To understanding the Nirodha, Nibbana. Patibada is a practice. Patibada meaning is a practice. So Nirodha Bhajanana Patibada meaning is that kind of practice is able to understand the Nibbana. That meaning. Nirodha Bhajanana Patibada Magasatya. We call Magasatya. Magasatyanti. Magasatya meaning is Eightfold Noble Path, isn't it? Patibada is not the other thing. Eightfold Noble Path. We have to develop that kind of Eightfold Noble Path because to understand the Nibbana. Yeah, even like this. Even like this, Ekeka Padruta Renapi. Ekeka means eka, one, each phenomena, eka. Each phenomena, Uddharana meaning is take out. Take out the each phenomena. Also, we call here is Sabadame. So you can imagine Sabadame means when you take out each dharma in your life, or many, you can imagine. Many kind. So here mention only Chaku, isn't it? But the other Soda, Ghana, Jiva, man, on our body, oh my, many. 18 kind of the Ruba, and then the 89 kind of the Chitta, mind, and then 52 kind of the Mandapata. So many you can apply in that way. In those different kind of nama and rupa, mentality and materiality, you can apply in that way. So many phenomena, many dhamma. Here mentioned sabha dhamme. So sabha dhamme is actually a lot. You can imagine. So Buddha understanding the each dhamma in that way, understanding. That's why we call Buddha is Sama Sambuddha. Yeah. So Sabadame Sama rightly. So his understanding is not wrongly, rightly. That is also important. If he understands wrongly, it's not get the right destination, isn't it? And then Samancha. Samancha is more unbelievable, but because of the without teacher understanding something is very difficult, isn't it? Yeah, every professional, if you want to learn some kind of professional, you need teacher. Without teacher, you understand that kind of thing is very difficult. But Buddha understands. Samancha means he called all kind of dharma. Many, we cannot count how many. Huh? So he understands himself without teacher. So that's why the Buddha is very amazing. So in that way, he understands without teacher. He understands in all kind of dharma. So that's why Buddha. So these three words combined. Sama plus Saman plus Buddha, we call Sama Sambuddho. Yeah. Isanayo in the same way. Isanayo Sota Kana Jiwa Kaya Manesu. Yeah. So here just mention the Chaku. So soda also you can apply in that way. Kana also kana is a nose, jiwa, tam, kaya, body, and manesu. Manesu is a mentality. Mentality is a consciousness and a manda feathers. You can apply in that way. So you can imagine many things the Buddha understand rightly and then it said without teaching. So that meaning is we call Samma Sambuddho. Okay? So here English translation, besides Abhidhamma, besides he has discovered all things rightly by himself, step by step. Step by step meaning is many things. Ekeka. Ekeka Batu Tarin and Batu Renabi. So the I is a truth of suffering because of all the time depending on the condition, many condition. That's why I'm suffering. And then prior craving, previous craving, in that originate it by being its root cause is the truth of the origin of the suffering. And then the non-concurrence of the bowl, no non-occurrence, no happening of these two things is the truth of the cessation of the suffering. And then the way that is the act of the understanding, cessation is the truth of the path. So that act meaning is the Eightfold Noble Path practice. Practicing the Eightfold Noble Path to understand the cessation of the suffering is we call the truth of the Eightfold Noble Path. So in the shortcut way, we say Dukkha Satcha in Pali, Samudaya Satcha, Nirodha Satcha, and Magga Satcha. Yeah. Four Noble Truths. Okay. So to in that case of the ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So mind is consciousness plus manda feathers. You should understand like this. Pali mana is translated in English mind, but mind meaning is two kind. Consciousness plus manda feather. Okay. Okay, so we go to the next one. This one is more explaining detail. Etenewa nayena. Etenewa nayena. It is in that way as well. Same way, huh? Yeah. Rubadini. Rubadini. Ruba, etc., etc. Cha ayatanani. Six kind of the ayatana, isn't it? Rubadini meaning is six kind of ayatana. Chaku, soda, kana, jiva, kaya. So this six kind of ayatana. Chakadana, Sodana, Kanayana, to translate the base or the eye base, ear base, nose base, tongue base, body base. Chakku connection with the mentality. Chakku is eye consciousness, etc., etc. Adiyo. Chakku Adiyo, cha vinyana kaya. Cha means a six. Vinyana is a consciousness. Kaya is a group. Six kind of consciousness. Group. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness. Yeah. And then mind consciousness. So chakku sampasadayo. Yeah. The vinyana consciousness arising, not just only consciousness, but also the together with the manda feathers. So passa, chakku sampasadayo. Contact in the eye, etc., etc. Cha passa. This kind of passa, isn't it? This kind of passa. Contact in eye, contact in ear, contact in nose, contact in tongue, contact in the body, and then contact in the mind. This kind of passa. And then chakku sampasaja tayo. So producing by the chakku sampasa, etc., etc., cha vedana. Cha is a sixth kind, vedana is a feeling. Yeah, so the many connection. If you take one, the other connect each other, so they also together, isn't it? Here, Pali mentioned like this. Cha vedana, yeah, we have a kind of feeling, isn't it? Something we see with the eye, yeah, at the time, eye consciousness arising and contact in the eye and then producing the feeling what we see, isn't it? So that kind of mentality is many consequently happening. So rupa sanya dayo, rupa sanya, yeah. So if you have a feeling, not only feeling, you have a perception. Rupa sanya is perception in the visible object. Yeah. When we see something, we perceive that kind of things. So rupa sanya ryo, rupa sanya, perception in the visible object, etc., etc. Cha, this kind of the sanya. Yeah. The sanya is a sixth kind. Sixth kind of sanya. The perception. So perception also working. Perception is a kind of the data collection, what we see, what we had, what we smell, what we, taste, what we touch, what we thinking. Many data is storage in the stream of mind by the power of perception, sanya. Very, very amazing. Working, the mentality is working in all living beings like this. You can imagine. And then rupa sanya sanchedana rayo. Rupa sanchedana is kind of the evolution. Evolution is a kind of the motivation. Yeah. After seeing something in our mind, there's a kind of phenomenon happening is kind of the motivation concerning with the thing what we see, what we had, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch, and what we think. So that kind of motivation here, rupa sanchetana tayo, etc., etc. Many six kind, cha chetana, six kind of motivation. Yeah, motivation meaning is motivate in our mind to do some kind of action. So in our life, we have a three kind of action: bodily action, verbal action, and mental action. So these three kind of action, because of this six kind of motivation, make these three kind of action in our life. So this is here that after seeing something, many consequences happening in our mentality. Okay, so Rupa Danario, not finished yet. Rupa Danario means attachment in the visual object, what we see, etc., 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 etc. Meaning is the attachment in the sound, what we had, etc., etc. So Cha Danakaya, this kind of attachment group. Kaya means here group. Tanakaya. Tanakaya is a group of the attachment. Rupadana, Sadadana in Pali. Gandhadana, Rasadana, Parabadana, Dhammadana. So six kind. Six kind. Not finished yet. After that, Rupa Pavitakario. Sorry, Rupa Vitakario. Rupa Vitakario. Rupa Vitaka is thinking about the what we see, etc., etc. Is thinking about the what we had, thinking about the what we smell, thinking about the what we taste, like this. So cha Vitaka, this kind of thinking, and then Rupa Vicharadayo. Yeah. So again, and Vichara is again and again thinking. So sustain application and translate Vichara is that meaning is many time thinking, many thinking, again and again, repeatedly thinking. That meaning Rupa Vichara is repeatedly thinking in the visible object. Yeah, it's many happen. You can imagine many years ago what you already seen, that thing is can be appear in your mind in many times. It's depend on the situation, isn't it? So that's why which are also very important mentality happening like this. Rupa Vicharadayo, yeah, the repeated thinking in visual object, in the sound, in smell, taste, touch, and the many kind of thinking. So cha with cha, this kind of repeated thinking. So repeated thinking is not stop at that time. Continue the consequence happening like this. Rupa khanda dayo. Rupa khanda dayo means rupa khanda, etc., etc. The corporeality, the aggregate, and then audio, etc., etc. Meaning is a feeling aggregate, perception aggregates, Vedana khanda, Sanya khanda, Sankhara khanda, matter formation aggregate, and then Vijnana Khanda, yeah, the consciousness aggregate, so Pancha Khanda. 5 kind of khanda is happening. So which are after the which are the 5 kind of khanda is happening, isn't it? Yeah. And then Dasa Kasina. Yeah. Dasa is 10 kind of the Kasina. Dasa Anosadiyo, 10 kind of the reflection. Udumaraka Sanyadi Wasena. Udumaraka is kind of the blood touch the dead body, etc., etc. Dasa Sanya, 10 kind of the possession. Kesa deyo. Kesa means the head hair. Todesa kara. Todesa is 32 kind of the body part. And then Dwadasayadana. 12 kind of ayadana. Parasa is a 12. Dwadasayadana, 12 kind of ayadana. Atarasa Daduyo. Tarasa Daduyo is Atarasa is 18. 18 kind of Dadu. Dadu element. Dadu is element. 18 kind of element. And Kama Bhava deyo. Kama Bhava. Kama Bhava is a life in the sensual world. Kama Bhava. Aryo is a Kama Bhava, Rupa Bhava, Arupa Bhava, etc., etc. Yeah. Eko Kara Bhava, Chituo Kara Bhava, Pancho Kara Bhava, so many. So Nawa Bhava, 9 kind of the life. And then Patamadini. Patama is fast, etc., etc. Chattari Janani, 4 kind of absorption. Patama Jana, Dutiya Jana, 4 kind of absorption. Absorption Jana. Midda Bhavana Deyo, Midda Bhavana. 11 kindness meditation. Chattaso, 4. Abhamanya. 4 Abhamanya is 11 kindness, compassion, submitted joy, and equanimity, ubeka. Metta karuna, mudita ubeka. Abhamanya, Chattaso, Arupa Samapatiyo. Arupa Samapati is Arupa Jhana. Akasa Nanjarana Jhana. Vijnana Jhana. Akesanyana Jhana. Nivasanya, Nasanyana Jhana. So like this. And then Patiloma to Charamarana Dini. Patiloma. Patiloma is a reversed. Reversely, Charamarana Dini. Charamarana, etc., etc. And then Anuloma to. Anuloma do Awaja Dini. Anuloma do means the sequently. Avijja in the Brichas Mobara, dependent origination, studying Avijja, Vijabachaya Sankara, etc., etc. Adini. Patichas Mobada Apadingani. Brichas Mobada Ingani. Ingani is fetters. The fetters of the dependent origination, Avijja, Sankara, Vijnana, Namarupa, Saladana, Phassa, Vedana, Dana, Upada, yeah, and then Bhava, so etc., etc. 12 these factors. Your Chitavani should be compared with that. So many Dhamma. The meaning is many Dhamma. Many Dhamma. Many Dhamma. Huh? Okay, so here in my translation like this. And the following things should be constructed in the same way. There are many Dhamma here mentioned the sixth way beginning with the visible object, sixth group of consciousness beginning with the eye consciousness, the sixth kind of contact beginning with the eye contact, the sixth kind of feeling beginning with the eye contact bone feeling, the sixth kind of possession beginning with the possession of the visible object, the sixth kind of the volition or motivation beginning with the motivation about visible object, the sixth group of the craving beginning with the craving for visible object, and then the sixth kind of applied thought beginning with the applied thought about the visible object, and the sixth kind of the sustained thought beginning with the sustained thought about visible object, and then the five aggregate beginning with the aggregate of material or corporeality, and then the 10 kasina, 10 recollection, the 10 possession beginning with the possession of the blooded, the dead body, and then 32 aspect of the body beginning with the head hair, kesaloma, etc., etc. And then 12 base, adana, and then 18 elements, atarasa dadu, and 9 kind of the beginning, beginning with the Sanskrit becoming, the 4 jhana, beginning with the first jhana, second jhana, etc., etc. The 4 measureless stage, beginning with the development of the loving kindness, and then the 4 immaterial attainment, arvajana. So the feathers or the dependent origination in the reverse order, beginning with the aging and death, and in forward order, beginning with the ignorance. So many kind of phenomena, dharma, we can apply in the Four Noble Truths. So Four Noble Truths can be applied in all settings. Yeah, in your life or everything. Yeah. So that's why here mentioned like this many times. Okay. So continuously explain Pali Tattarayam. Tattarayam. Tattara means in that Pritchasmupara, in that dependent origination. Tattarayam, Tattarayam. Tattara means in that Pritchasmupara, the dependent origination, Ekabada Yojana. Ekabada Yojana means one factors or the dependent origination you can apply that way. That way meaning is no Four Noble Truth. Dukkha Satya, Samudaya Satya, or Magga Satya, or Nirodha Satya. You can. And then Charamarana, Dukkha Satya. Here is an example. Charamarana is a Chara and Marana. Decay and death is Dukkha Satya. Is Chadi. Chadi is a Samudaya Satya. Because Chadi Pachaya, Charamarana. So in that connection, Chadi is a Samudaya Satya, the cause. The cause of the decay and death, isn't it? So that's why. Actually, in the Abhidhamma, we learn Samudaya Satya is only dana, isn't it? Only dana attachment we call Samudaya Satya. Second Noble Truth is Samudaya Satya is dana. But here in Paticcasamuppada, the cause and effect relationship with like this, the cause is Samudaya Satya here. not directly, indirectly. So don't be confused. Jadi is jadi is not attachment, not craving. Why he say here samudaya satya? Because here jadi is cause of the jaramarana, death and the decay and death. So that's why here jadi is indirectly samudaya satya. Okay, ubainambi, these two meanings are jadi and jaramarana, nesarana. Nesarana. So nesarana is the freedom of the way of the freedom is we call here niyora satya. Niyora satya. Niyora pajanana padibada. To understand the niyora satya, that kind of practice, Eightfold Noble Path, we call magga satya here. So you can apply in the Paticcasamuppada as well, like this. This is an example. So Buddha understand in that way in Paticcasamuppada 12 kind of the phenomenon of factor is the Paticcasamuppada. In that way connect the Four Noble Truth, Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, and Magga. These Four Noble Truth apply in that way. Yeah, many dharma. So all kind of sabha dharma is many. So that's why. Ewa mekeka do dharina. Eka meka do dharina. Ewa mekena. Ewa ekeka do dharina. Ekeka is eka. Each phenomena. Eka. Padudhara is Udhara is a take off. Take off the each dharma in that way. We say Savadhammi. Display here. Savadhammi. Savadhammi, Sama, rightly, Samancha, himself, by himself, Buddha, understanding. That's why Anu Buddha, Pati Buddha. Anu Buddha, Anu is accordingly understanding. Anu Buddha is accordingly understanding. Anu Buddha. Pati Buddha. Pati is himself understanding. Pati Buddha. So Tena, that's why for that reason, Buddha, we talk. Sama, rightly, Samancha, himself, Savadhamana, Buddha. Savadhamana means all kind of dharma. Buddha, because of understanding, Sama Sambuddho, we call. Okay? Okay, so here in the translation, here in that is construction of the single clause of the dependent origination. Aging and death is the truth of suffering. The birth or jadi is the truth of the origin of suffering. Yeah. And the escape from the both. Reborn and aging and death, escaping from that is the truth of the cessation of suffering, isn't it? And the way that is the act or the practice, the understanding cessation is the truth of the path, Eightfold Noble Path. So in that way, the Buddha has already discovered and progressively discovered and completely discovered all dharma, all phenomena, all stages rightly, and by himself, no teacher, step by step. Step by step means many practice. Okay, so hence it was said about he is a fully enlightened because he discovered all things rightly and by himself. That's why we call Buddha is Samma Sambuddho. So in that way, you can practice meditation, Samma Sambuddho. After understanding that meaning, you can apply the practice of meditation, the special quality of the Buddha. Okay. Okay, so right now we finish the second special quality, Samma Sambuddho. And then that quality is Vijja Charana Sampanno, isn't it? So we go that one. Vijja Charana Sampanno. So this one also long. Vijja Charana Sampanna. Three was combined. Vijja plus Charana plus Sampanna. So these three was combination we call Buddha is Vijja Charana Sampanno. This is very, very important to understand. What is a Vijja? So here, explain one by one, Pali like this. Vijjapana Charanena cha Sampanatta. So Pana is another Buddha quality explaining. Vijja is wisdom. Vijja is avijja we call in the learning Paticca avijja. So avijja is a moha, delusion. Vijja is the opposite of the delusion, wisdom. So here vijja means wisdom. Charana. Charanena cha. Not only wisdom, but also charana is a practice. Charana. Yeah. Practice and wisdom. Wisdom is not naturally arising in our mind. Without practice, no wisdom. So wisdom is a connection with the practice, isn't it? So charana. Cha. Sampanada. Sampanada is a fulfilled. Sampanada is a complete. Complete with the wisdom and practice. That's why we call Buddha Vijja Charana Sampanno. The meaning is Buddha is the completing practice and wisdom. Buddha has no more practice. Buddha has no more practice because Buddha practiced all kind of practice. So maybe some Buddha statue is a kind of like a Buddha Bodhisattva is a skeleton because his practice is very, very austere, very, very strong. Nobody practiced like this. If the other person practiced like this, like him, they would die. Very, very strongly. Because at the time, Buddha, the Bodhisattva is cut eating, little eating, like this. And then the breathing in and out also control. He practice. Control the breathing in and out. So that we call there's a Dukkaracharya. Dukkaracharya is very difficult practice. Charya is also practice. Dukkara is a very, very difficult practice. The other person cannot practice like this. So we call in Pali Dukkara Charya. So even though in the Buddha, not Buddha, the Buddha Bodhisattva practice like this very strongly. So that meaning is Buddha practice all possible things you cannot practice like a Buddha Bodhisattva. So the meaning is a Buddha has no more practice. Already he practiced all kind. That meaning charana and vijja. Because of that practice, his understanding all kind of dharma with the wisdom. So that means vijja charana santano. Okay, so one by one explain here. Pali tata. In that the what Vijacharana Sampano. So Vijacharana Sampano is two kind of thing. Vija, wisdom, and Charana practice. So in that time it is in that two kind. Vija and Charana. Okay? Vijadi. Vija mean. Vijadi. Wisdom mean. Here wisdom mean they saw be. They saw be mean they said D means three kind. Three kind of vijja. Three kind of wisdom. Atapi vijja. Eight kind of wisdom. So two versions. Vijja, wisdom is sometimes mentioned three kinds, sometimes mentioned eight kinds. We have to understand here. Vijja, wisdom meaning is. So, what is the three kind of wisdom? What is the eight kind of wisdom? We have to know, isn't it? So here, Pali continually mentioned, they saw vijja, three kind of vijja, three kind of wisdom mean here, Bhaya Bhairava Sutta. The name of Sutta. The name of Sutta is a Bhaya Bhairava Sutta. In the Bhaya Bhairava Sutta, Hota Neyena. So already explained in that sutta, Vedava should be known. So if you want to more detail understanding the three kind of vijja, you should read in this sutta, Bhaya Bhairava Sutta. Reference. Just only give the reference. Because of too much explain here, repeatedly. So you can learn in that suttas. It's easy. So keep the reference. Sometimes keep the reference only. Pali is very what a night teaching. Right now, nowadays, so the university keep the reference. You can read in that. So Pali also keep the reference as well here. And then Atha, a kind of vijja also you can Ambata Sutta. You can reading in the Ambata Sutta. Ambata Sutta detailed explanation about the eight kind of wisdom in the Ambata Sutta. Interesting. You should try to read that sutta. Bhaya Bhairava Sutta and then Ambata Sutta. Yeah. Maybe we will learn later after the this learning, this teaching, maybe. Okay, anyway, so reference, two kind of reference refer to there, two different sutta. Tatrahi. Tatra here, tatra meaning is in that Ambata Sutta. Refer to reference to the previous one. Tatra meaning is in the Ambata Sutta. Yeah. Vipassanā ñānena. Vipassanā ñānena, inside wisdom. Vipassanā ñānena. with the insight with wisdom. Mano mayediya. Mano is mind. Maya is make. AD is kind of the supernatural power, normal power. AD, we call AD in Pali. So Manomi AD means that kind of supernatural power is made by mind. So this is what we call Manomi AD. So Manomi AD, ja, saha together, saha, cha, six abhinya, six kind of abhinya. Parikahitava is together, taken together, Parikahitava, Atta Avijja Hoda, 8 kind of wisdom talk in that sutta. Okay? So the English translation here is he is endorsed with a clear vision and virtuous conduct. The Vijja Charana Sampano, Vijja hi Charanena cha Sampano. So resolution of the compound of these what we call Vijja Charana Sampano. So here in is as to clear vision or wisdom, there are 3 kinds of the clear vision of wisdom, or 8 kind of clear vision of wisdom. So 3 kinds should be understood as a state in the Brihadbhirawa Sutta, and the 8 kind as stated in the Ambata Sutta. If you want, you will learn, you will read in the Sutta. For these 3, the 8 kind of the clear vision are stated, make up of the 6 kind of the direct knowledge together with the insight and the supernormal power or the mind made. Okay. Okay, this is a Vijja Charana Sampana. So Charana, Vijja, just the Vijja finish. Charana, we continue. Charana. What is a Charana? Charanandi. Charana practice meaning is here Sila Samvaro. Sila Samvara. Samvara is God with the morality, and then Indriya is Kuttata. Indriya is means in the faculty of eye, in the faculty of the ear, etc., etc. Indriya is Kutta Dwarada. Kutta is a protection. So protection in the faculty meaning is a practice Vipassanā, isn't it? Vipassanā. Sila Samvara is just a practice Sila, morality. So Indriya Kutta Dwarada is a practice in meditation. The Samatha Vipassanā as well. And then Bhojane. Bhojane is in eating, Matinyuta. Yeah. That's very important. When you practice meditation, Bhojane Matinyuta is very important. Yeah. If you eat too much, you cannot practice properly. If you eat too low, too small, too little, you will be hungry and you cannot practice meditation, isn't it? So Bhojane Matinyuta is eating is in the moderate eating. So moderate eating is a kind of the practice, very important in the practice of meditation. That's why here mentioned Bhojane Matinyuta. And Chagriya Nu Yogo. Yeah. Chagriya is awaken. Nu Yoga is effort. Yeah, make effort to awaken. That means that in the daytime, sleepiness is the very, very great the disturbance of the progress of the meditation, isn't it? So awaken all the time, awaken. Yeah, make effort to be awakened all the time. And this is a Jagriya New Yoga. Yeah, Jagriya is awaken. New Yoga is a kind of the effort, vidya. Okay, and then Sattadhamma. Oh, Sattadhamma is these are seven. Oh no, Saddhamma. Saddhamma. Or Saddhamma is Saddha, Hiri, Ottappa, Bahusacca, Viriya, Sati, Panya, seven. So the white person Dharma we call Saddhamma. Here Saddhamma is Sa is Sapurisa. Sapurisa is a wise person. Sapurisa Dharma. Saddhamma is Sapurisa Dharma. So Sapurisa Dharma meaning is Saddha, confident. Hiri is a shame and evil, doing evil. Ottappa, shame and shame, not shame. Ottappa is fear and doing evil. Hiri, Saddha, Hiri, Ottappa, and Bahusacca. Bahusacca is much learning a lot. Bahusacca and Virya effort, and the Sati, mindfulness, and Panya, wisdom. So these seven Dharma. And then Chattari, four. Chattari is four. Rupavachara Jhanani. Oh, four kind of Rupa Jhana. First Jhana, second Jhana, third Jhana, fourth Jhana. So how many? Ime Panarasa. Altogether, Panarasa is 15. So 15 here, we count Sila Samvara is 1, isn't it? Indri is Gutta Dvarasra is 2. And then Bhojane Matinyuta 3. And then Chagariya Nuyogo 4, isn't it? And then 7 kind of Sadhama, Sada, Hiri, Ottappa, Bahusacca, Viriya, Sati, Panya. So 4 plus 7, altogether 11. And then another 4 are Rupa Jhana. First, second, third, fourth Jhana. So altogether 15 Panarasa. So Ime Panarasa Dhamma Viridava. Should be known. So Charana practice meaning is these 15 kind of Dhamma practice. Yeah. That's very important. When you practice meditation, these 15 kind of practice, very, very important. Charana, conduct. They translate their conduct. Charana. Okay, so which understand right now, Charana also understand right now. So, Imeyewa hi Dhamma. Panarasa Dhamma. So, Imeyewa hi Panarasa Dhamma means that these 15 Dhamma only Yasama Idehi Charati Ariya Savako. Ariya Savaka is a noble person. Ariya Savako. Noble person. Kachati. Kachati is become Ariya, noble person. When you practice these 15 kind of Dhamma, you become the lower person. Ah, Amadan Disa. Oh, Amadan is a Mada is a die, dead. Amada is a no death. The meaning is Nibbana. Amadan Disa is a the no death place. Disa is a place. So the meaning is Nibbana. Kachadi meaning is a goal. So the noble, a white person go to the Nibbana with the 15 kind of Dhamma. That meaning. That's therefore, because of that reason, Charanandi Uta, we say Charana. Charana. Huh? Chara is a going. Chara is a going. So because of the white person, a noble person, go to the Nibbana with these Dhamma. So that's why these Dhamma we call Charana. Yeah. Yataha. Yata aha. How the Buddha talk. Ida Mahanama. This is a reference. Mahanama is the king of the Satya. One king of the Satya name Mahanama. So Ida is right now in this war. Ida is in this war. Ariya Sawako, the noble person, Silawa 40. Silawa 40 means should be practiced and morality, and then Indriya is Kuta, Dwarada, etc. etc. So it is like this, Saban or Majima Panasake in the Majima Panasa, Majima Nikaya, and Majima Panasa, Hutta Nayinewa. So what the Buddha talk in that way, Vedava should be known. Yeah, this is a reference. So these 15 kind of Dharma. Yeah, Bhagawa is a Buddha. Imahi Vajjahi. With these wisdom, Iminacha Charanina. With this conduct or practice, Samanagato. He already finished. He already successful. Tena, therefore, we call Buddha as Vijacharana Sampanoti. Okay, so here in the translation, the Vajra conduct should be understood as a 15 things. That is to say, restrained by vacuum, cutting of the sense faculty, knowledge of the right amount of eating, devolving to the wakefulness. Seven good stages. Seven good stages is Sada, Hiri, Odapa, Bu, Satya, Viriya, Sati, Panya. And then four jhana, four rupa jhana of the five material sphere. For it is precisely by means of these 15 things that a noble disciple conduct himself that he go toward that last nibbana. That is why it is called, according it is as it is said here, Mahanama, the noble disciple, has a vacuum, etc., for the Buddha talk. The whole which should be understood as given in the middle 50 of the Majjhima Nikaya. So when you read the Majjhima Nikaya, you will see the sutta as well. Okay, and then now the Buddha blessed one is, and those with these kind of clear vision, wisdom, and with the conduct, 15 kind of conduct as well. So he called and with a clear vision of virtuous contact, which are charana sampanno. Okay, so continue a little bit more. Continue a little bit more about the Vichacharana. Okay, Tatha meaning is in that endorsement, what the Buddha, the Vajja and Charana. So explain Vajja Sambara. Vajja Sambara means an endorsement of the wisdom, Vajja, Bhagavato, Buddha, Sabhinyuttam. Sabhinyutta is Sabha is all. Nyutta is knowing, isn't it? So Buddha knowing all things because of the wisdom, because of the endorsement with the wisdom, Buddha know all things. Sabhinyutta. Puritva Tita. Yeah, Puritva is completely. Tita is standing. Yeah. So that meaning is a Buddha knowing all things because of these vijja, these wisdom. Okay? And then Charana Sambara, endorsement of the conduct, 15 kind of conduct. So Maha Karunikata. Maha is great. Karuna is karuna. Karuna is compassion. Yeah. So that's why Buddha knowing all things, and Buddha has a great compassion because of the Buddha practice all contact. So he has compassion. Yeah. So compassion is just karuna. We say compassion. Thus is sometimes, the person who are very suffering. When we see we have the karuna, compassion, but sometimes we don't know exactly what the cause, what the condition of that kind of suffering. So Buddha not just only seeing the suffering, but also the cause of suffering as well. So the Buddha knows rightly what happened. Why that person suffering like this? Why that person or not suffering like this? Buddha knows in detail. Exactly, yeah, detail. That's why sometimes Buddha didn't import. For example, one day Buddha and 500 monks together at the place, and Buddha talk about the Marananussati to practice the reflection of the dead. So the 500 month practice of that meditation, and then because of the previous life, they make a evil thing. That karma give the result right now, and they kill each other. Before they kill each other, Buddha know. Before 7 days, they kill each other. Buddha know. 7 days in the future, they will kill each other. At that time, I go to them and I can stop them or not. The Buddha find the cause. Buddha found because I cannot stop them because their great evil karma has a power to give the result like this. So Buddha at that time declared, nobody meet, nobody has no chance to meet me for 7 days. I'm not going to Amsterdam. I'm not any kind of visitor. I said, Buddha declared like this because Buddha know I cannot stop them. If I didn't declare like this, some person blame to the Buddha. Buddha, why Buddha know everything? Why Buddha stop them? Why didn't Buddha stop them? They blame to the Buddha because they don't know the cause. So that's why Buddha has a great makaruna, great compassion. And Buddha has a great compassion to them, these 500 monks. But at the time, Buddha has no chance to have them, to stop them. So yeah, that's makaruna, great compassion is very deep meaning in Pali. Here, this one, charana sambara. The Buddha endorsement with these 15 kind of conduct. That's why the Buddha has great, great compassion. We have to understand like that. So the more you understand about the quality of Buddha, the more you love the Buddha. Isn't it? Very interesting. Okay. And then saw Sabhinyutaya. Sabasatana. So means a Buddha. So means a Buddha. Sabhinyutaya. The Buddha has the wisdom that is able to know all things. Because of that, Sabasatana, all kind of living being. Sabasatana, all kind of living being. Athanatan. Atha is the benefit. Atha. Anatta is opposite of benefit. Yeah. So atha natan, benefit and not benefit, nyatwa. The Buddha know. Nyatwa is a no. And the Mahakaruna Karunikadaya. Very, very great, great confession. Anatha Pariwijitwa. Anatha meaning is not benefit, and benefit. Pariwijitwa is remove. Ate Niyojiti. Ate means in the benefit thing, Niyojiti meaning is they try to do. Yeah, that kind of meaning. Yeah, but sometimes Buddha has no, not have to that. You have to understand. Yata ta vijacharana sampano. Yeah, that's why we call the Buddha vijacharana sampano. Tena asa. Tena therefore, asa the Buddha, Sawaka disciple, Supatipana hoti. Supatipana is su means the rightly. Supatipana is a practice. No Dupatipana. No is a not. No is a not. Dupatipana is a do is the roundly practice, not roundly practice. Vijacharana Vipanana. Vijacharana Vipanana means the person who has no wisdom and vija and charana, wisdom and conduct. Sawaka, the disciple. Attan. Atanta Padayo. Atanta Padayo is Atanta Padayo is kind of the Atta is themselves. Apadio is huh? Apadio is the round practice. Huh? So the Vijacharana Sampana is very, very important. Yes, so translate like this here, English translation. Here in the Blessed Ones, possession the clear vision and consists in the fulfillment of omniscience. Omniscience is Sabhinyutanyana. Why he is possession of contact consists in the fulfillment of the great compassion. So he know through the omniscience, Sabhinyutanyana, what is good and harmful for all beings. And through confession, he won them of hand and exhort them to do good. But some case he cannot, isn't it? That is how he is possessed of clear vision and conduct, which is why his disciple has entered upon the good way instead of the entering upon the bad way. As a set modification disciple, those who are not possessed of the clear vision and conduct have stand. So Vijacharana Sampana is very, very important. If the person don't have a Vija and Charana, that person never ever free from suffering. Yeah. So Vijacharana is very, very important. Yeah. Not only Buddha, the other Buddha disciple as well need to. Yeah. Okay, so nearly 4 o'clock. We will stop here today. Vijacharana Sampana is finished right now. Okay, thank you very much for your listening. So the more you understand in that way, the quality of Buddha, so you can practice the quality of Buddha in your mind. Arahant, Samma Sambuddho, Vijacharana Sampano, like this. So you can practice and you can build up your power concentration. So after that, after attaining the power concentration, you change the practice Vipassanā, meditation, and then you understand easily the nature of body and mind. So that benefit you will get it. So that's why the Buddha Nosati, the reflecting the quality of Buddha is very, very important. Okay? Okay, so before stop the lecture, we wish Buddha teaching staying longer and longer in the universe. So Buddha Sasanam Chiyanti Tisu in 3 times, please. Buddha Sasanam Chiyanti Tisu. Buddha Sasanam Chiyanti Tisu. Buddha Sasanam Chiyanti Tisu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idami punyang asawakayang wahodu. Idami punyang nibbanasa acayo hodu. Idami punyang magapala nyanasa acayo hodu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much for your listening. Have a good day. See you next week. Bye bye.